Hello, this is William from Zero Gravity Thrills, and in this video, I'm going to be putting two great B&M roller coasters together to see which one is better. This is, of course, Yukon Striker versus Gatekeeper. This is going to be a great battle, so stay tuned. Before we begin, this is how the battle will work. So there will be 14 categories. So it will be drop, launch, length, sense of speed, airtime, inversions, turns, intensity, smoothness slash comfort, theming, beauty and location, restraints and trains, fun, and layout. And another thing to mention is a category like smoothness has its own category, but it also slightly affects all the other elements like airtime. So if an airtime hill is amazing, but say it's rough, it might lose 1 point because it's rough. But it also has its own category of smoothness. Okay, with that out of the way, I am going to begin. Drop, 10 possible points. Both of these coasters have a very unique and very good drops. I prefer Yukon Strikers because of the hanging over the edge and the whip over in the back row. And the view is amazing on Yukon Strikers drop. Gatekeeper's drop is also really good because you kind of flip upside down and then just dive down. It feels really cool, but it's not as good as Yukon Strikers because Yukon Strikers gives much more airtime. Gatekeepers is really unique and it's very fun, but it doesn't compare to Yukon Strikers. And not to mention, after Yukon Strikers drop, it goes right into an underground tunnel, which is a very big head chopper and really insane. So, yeah, Yukon gets 10 points and Gatekeeper gets 8 points actually. Next up is the launch or lift hill. Since both of these coasters don't have launches, they can't get the 10 possible points, but they do have lift hills, and both are very good lift hills. Both get 3 points. I like Gatekeeper's lift hill because it's right onto the beach. If you look to your left, you'll see the beach and the lake. And Yukon Striker's lift hill is awesome, but the best part of it's actually as soon as you get to the top and then you do a slight turnaround, you could see the whole park of Wonderland, and you could even see in Vaughan and Toronto. It's crazy. So both get 3 points. Next up is the length. Both these rides have a good ride time, so they'll both be getting a good amount of points. If they both had one extra element, I think their length would be perfect, but it's not a huge deal. Yukon Striker feels slightly shorter, so it'll be getting 6 points, and Gatekeeper will get 7 points because it's a few seconds longer. Both these coasters also have a mid-course brake run, but I kind of took the mid-course timeout, and they still give pretty long rides. Next up is the sense of speed. Both coasters are very fast, but they don't feel as fast as they actually are. Yukon Striker does feel faster because of the drop into the underwater tunnel. Other than that, they feel slightly faster than average. However, they do lose their pacing by the end after mid-course. So Yukon Striker will get 6 points because it doesn't have too many fast moments, but the fast moments are very fast. And Gatekeeper will earn 5 points. And as you can see, the score is 25-23, Yukon Strikers in the lead. Next up, we got the airtime. Both these coasters are not meant for the airtime, but they do have their moments. Yukon Striker gets airtime on the 2 dives and the small amount on the hill before the helix. Gatekeeper has large airtime hills with okay airtime and small hill after the helix. Also, you get some weightlessness through the inversions just like Yukon Striker. And also on the drop of Gatekeeper, you get a little float of airtime, but not too much. Yukon Striker definitely has better airtime, so we'll be getting 7 points, and Gatekeeper will be getting 5 points. Next up is the inversions. Yukon Striker has less inversions than Gatekeeper, but both coasters' inversions are very good. Gatekeeper will get more points than Yukon Striker because they are really floaty, even more than Yukon Strikers. Yukon's inversions are faster paced, like the vertical loop whips through it. That's probably my favorite inversion on Yukon Striker. But there's not a bad one, like the 0G winder is very good, and the 2 moments are also very good. But Gatekeeper's inversions, I think I give it 2 more points because it's got more inversions. But other than that, I'd say both of the inversions are very good on both of these rides. Next up is the turns. Both these coasters have a lot of turns, however, most of them are actually inversions. so they do not apply to this category. They both do have a helix and bank into the brakes, but they are not the best. They both have like the only actual turn on these rides is the helix, which I mean it's okay, but they're not intense at all, and they're right towards the end of the ride. So I'm gonna give them both 2 points. Next up is the intensity. Both coasters have intense moments, but the Vesser strains kind of take away from lots of the intensity. Overall, Yukon Striker is more intense because of the drop into the valley under the underwater tunnel, and the inversions feel a little bit faster, especially that vertical loop. So Yukon Striker will get 7 points. Gatekeeper will only get 5 points because at the bottom of the drop, it's fairly intense, but the rest of the ride's more graceful and kind of floaty, so it's not too intense at all. Next up is smoothness and comfort. Both of these coasters are both really new coasters, so of course they're going to be smooth. But Yukon Striker is basically glossy smooth, and Gatekeeper is quite smooth too. But in the valleys, it shakes around, especially on the outer seats. Overall, there's a slight rattle, but the ride is so comfortable. But the ride is still very comfortable, so we'll still be getting good points. So Gatekeeper will get 9 points, and Yukon Striker will get 10 points. Next up, we got theming. Both coasters' theming isn't the best, but Yukon's is slightly better, as around the area, looks like a northern Canadian gold mine kind of up in Yukon. And Gatekeeper's themed to a bird that guards the gate, which this ride actually kind of does since it's at the front of Cedar Point. You can call that theming, and also there are lots of seagulls near Gatekeeper, so theming. I mean, it could be if you think about it. But Yukon Striker will get more points because of the queue and the looks of the ride, so it'll get 3 points, and Gatekeeper will earn 2 points. Next up, we got beauty and location. Both rides look quite good, but Gatekeeper does look better. Plus, Gatekeeper also has a mostly better location because it is right on next to the Cedar Point beach. Even though this coaster is like being on the beach is great. The coaster does go right near a parking lot, which isn't a big deal to me. It does take away some of its charm, so I'll give it 7 points, not quite perfect. And Yukon Striker will get 5 points because it's right in the middle of the park and it looks really good, but it's not in the best location, but it does drop into the underwater tunnel, so that will give it some good points. It's not a parking lot coaster at all, but it looks pretty good, so we'll get 5 out of 8. And Gatekeeper will get 7. Next up is the restraints and trains. They both have the exact same trains, but Yukon's does feel slightly more comfortable, as it feels like the best restraint will give you more give to it. But it won't get extra points for that. Also, not to mention, I like the trains on Gatekeeper more than Yukon Striker because the bird detail on the front looks very good. The Yukon Striker's train looks good too, but nowhere near as good as Gatekeeper's, in my opinion. So Yukon Striker gets 5 points and Gatekeeper will get 6 points. As you can see, the score is very close, 69 to 66. Next up is the fun. Yukon Striker's drop and all the elements are very fun, just like everything about Gatekeeper. When riding them, I have about equal amount of fun on both of them, so they'll both be getting 8 out of 10. I especially love the drops on both of them. The drops definitely add the most to the fun because they're very good drops, and also the inversions are very fun too. So, going to the final category, we got layout. Gatekeeper has a higher variety of elements, and I feel like the flow of them works slightly better in Yukon Strikers. Yukon Strikers and Gatekeeper's layout is good, but after the mid course, it isn't as good of a as good after the rest of the ride. Same as like both of them. Overall, I like Gatekeeper's layout more, so Gatekeeper will get 7 points, and Yukon Striker will get 6 points. And sorry about the image being under Gatekeeper got deleted. I don't know how it got deleted. It must have randomly, but okay. So who won? Oh wait, never mind. There it is. Okay, yeah, that's Gatekeeper's layout right there. Okay, who won? Winning by only 2 points is Yukon Striker. Both of these coasters are great, Bollinger and Mapillard roller coasters. I like them about equally, but I think Yukon Striker won because of its slightly more intense ride and the better airtime filled drops. Both coasters have their pros and cons, and both of them are fantastic rides. So Yukon Striker wins 83 to 81. Okay, Thank you for watching my video. If you enjoyed, please hit the like button and comment below which one you like more. And if you want to see any videos, like what types of videos in the future, just let me know and I'll be sure to post tons of videos like that. Okay, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.